morning, everybody. I am headed to the field right now. We're gonna test out that merger. Now, that is not one we are buying. That is one I am borrowing from a friend. Just remember. Hopefully this goes well, and I'm excited. Hope you guys are excited too. This brand isn't even the exact brand I would like. There's another brand made by H&S Rakes. It's a smaller deal. It's supposed to have less leaf loss, so, but it's still the same concept. All right, we're in the field testing out the merger. This is the first run we've done with it. This is with the extension on. It's throwing it all the way to the inside of this row. He just picked the extension up. We want it, it looks like we want it to sit right on the row. This is all new to us. We'll see how it goes. It's a little damp on top. So I've already discussed this, but what we're trying to do is normally we put two together and then bale one and bale that. However, this time of year our yields are a lot smaller, so we're adding 3 to 1 and we'll bale those up. That does two things. One, it's less trips in the field. Two, it makes a nicer bale. Instead of having real thin flakes, we're gonna have nice thick flakes in the bale. So we're just comparing with the extension down. When the extension is down, it throws it right into here. With the extension up, it's dead center on that windrow. It's a little bit too wet right now. I just squished a mosquito on my arm. Oh, it's like 60 degrees. It's too cold for mosquitoes. Anyways, so it's a test run. It's a little too wet. We just want to see if it worked. We're gonna stop now and wait a little bit, let it dry out. Standing in here, out here in front of the merger right now. So this machine picks up the hay and on that treadmill, throws it over there. It's a very simple design, and hopefully we like it. This is some very pretty hay. First year alfalfa. It's a little damp. You can tell the color difference from getting some morning dew. That's what the dew does. It comes out, it sits on top, the sun hits it like a magnifying glass and it takes the color out. But it's still pretty hay. Just got off the rented Kubota, knocking out some concrete in the feed lanes. Then I just remembered I gotta run and look at some hay for a buddy. It's kind of funny, we found a niche market with selling our hay by the bale to customers. Sometimes guys make hay that nobody else wants or they can't sell wholesale. In this case, some nice summer grass mixed in with the alfalfa. The grass wasn't planted, it just happens naturally with Mother Nature. It comes in the irrigation, comes in the wind, whatever. They've got several loads of nice alfalfa with some real consistent grass through it. So I'm headed to look at it. That might work nicely in my barn where we sell hay by the bale. Like I said earlier, lucky for me, I can sell hay with grass in it. It makes a nice mix. As you can see from the color, it was baled in a few different days. This stuff was baled a few days before this stuff. However, this stuff has more leaf than this stuff. This stuff is a little dry. This had good moisture to it. This side of the hay, it's all green, so that's good. However, this side is a bit drier. You can hear it, you can see it. There's some good leafy spots. There's a leafy spot. There's some small stems and leaf, but pretty dry. This is everything I have to take into account when pricing this out. Here's some grass, like they were talking about why they can't move it to their normal customers. Some grass. There's something else that I've noticed that concerns me a little bit. There's some brown spots in these bales, and I don't know why they're there. Up there, here, up there. I'm not sure where they came from. One, this hay could have sat in the field for a day or several hours before the bale wagon picked it up, or I don't know what else. So it's hard to know why those are there, but that's something else to think about. In buying hay, I have to worst case scenario everything. I know the worst case scenario, I can sell this hay for $10 a bale in my sale barn. Best case, $13. It's a big chunk of grease. So I also have to think about what it costs me to get this back to my farm and subtract that from what I can sell it for. So I'm thinking, what am I selling it for? What does it cost to get it there in freight? And what does it cost my office and my guys loading it? So I've got several costs involved that I have to think about. There's some more dry parts. I would rather buy this worst case scenario or not buy it at all. I've taken too many chances on other hay that I did not worst case scenario and lost money on. So it's not worth selling more hay just to lose money. We have to make money just like every business. In the case of this hay, because I didn't bale it, I don't know what the bale weights are. I don't know who baled it, but I don't think they have scales on their balers. As I was probing it, some of the bales were extremely tight, which makes me think there are some very heavy bales in there. So instead of buying this by the ton, I am gonna make an offer by the bale. And it doesn't matter what the bale weighs. I'm buying it by the bale, I will sell it by the bale. Weight doesn't come into effect. This stuff had pretty good moisture, but it's been sitting here for, still nice on the inside. There's some more grass. It's not a bad thing. It's not super consistent. Not every bale has grass. I would rather every bale had a little grass. Back to the farm. Oh, I love good news. Just back on the farm, and Will told me, come look at this tire. That's a big crack, and there's another one. This tire is, I think, a year old. I'm gonna go look. What's also frustrating is the tread. So this tread is a year old. This tread is 10 years old. Why does this tread is almost as good as this tread? Cheap rubber, but this one's getting these cracks in it. Got 3 more getting those cracks too. This one, 2, that's 2, 3, 4. Ugh, I thought there were only 3. I guess there's 4. 5. Got 5 tires I need to replace. I guess Henry's not going to college. His tires are expensive. So it's closing time, but I am doing a little extra work. Tomorrow, I'm borrowing a friend's front end loader. It's a nice big front end loader. I'm gonna use that front end loader to move manure around in a pen that I am changing the shape of. This feedlot pen is shaped like a funky triangle. I'm getting rid of the weird angle in it, and it's gonna be square when I'm done. However, there's a bunch of manure that I am going to borrow, that I'm gonna push out of the way with that front end loader. So I am going to use the squeeze to pull the old fence out of the ground. Squeezes are fun. You can use them for almost anything. So here's this old fence line right there. It's at a weird angle. I'm gonna move it over there. This fence is in the ground. My squeeze is now in the fence. I'm gonna pick it up and it's gonna pop out of the ground. Unfortunately, this is rotted off. It's gonna leave the cement here. So while I have that front end loader, I'll dig the cement out as well. This tree, I'm gonna leave this tree here. It's fine. I might just trim it up. My grandpa's probably gonna be a little mad. This fence is old, but it makes no sense. And I hate that it's here. I want a square fence. All right, here we go. Up, up, and away. Look how easy that is. If you don't own a squeeze, why don't you? Oh yeah. Fence line is gone. See what you can do with a squeeze? In about 3 minutes. Oh, I set it in the tree on accident. Whoops. That's why it didn't come down. Well, I thought I was gonna reuse this fence. I knew it was gonna look ugly, but everything else out here is ugly, so it wasn't gonna matter. It's really bent up. That squeeze just tore this fence up, so it's not getting reused. But it's okay. Instead, I'm just gonna build a new one, so it'll be better. Pipe. I haven't decided if I'll use cable or sucker rod. Probably just sucker rod. The neighbor's got some. It's pretty cheap. I'll just use sucker rod, most likely. The old fence line went that way towards the squeeze. The new fence line is gonna go that way. I'm gonna have room to park some trailers. In the wintertime, some cowboys come down, and they always need split space to park the trailers. They're gonna park it all right here. And I'll even give them a tree for some shade. Win-win for everyone. They are also usually needing a little more space to put, well, I shouldn't say space, they need to separate animals a little more. So while I'm at it, I'm gonna take this big pin and I'm gonna cut it in half. Whap. It has 80 feet worth of shade in it, so I'm just gonna cut this sucker right down the middle. So each side gets 40 foot worth of shade. I've got water right there. We busted out the old water trough because it was leaking. I'll just pipe water over right to the middle. I have water on one side, water on the other. Everything has water. If you thought all we did was alfalfa, you're wrong. Please do not ask me to come build a feedlot for you or a dairy. I won't do it. I really don't like doing this kind of stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I might have bit off a little more than I can chew. It all started off with this one feed line, fixing some posts. It's turned into kind of a monster. Adding pens, taking out fences, adding new fences, taking out water troughs. I don't know. We're doing most of it ourselves, so at least that's saving money, but still, quite a bit of extra work. This water trough has been leaking for probably 10 years. It's about time we changed it out. My grandpa actually hasn't been around in a few days. Kind of nervous when he comes back. He's gonna flip out a little bit. I mean, he knew I was doing some of this stuff, but not all of it. All right, fence is pulled out. Time to go home, 6 o'clock. I miss my little boy and my wife. See you guys tomorrow. Sorry this has turned into a much bigger project than I thought it would. Who knew?